you think putting food over your naked body would still go over as well as when you were pregnant and maybe go viral again? Or
what like your body now.
Welcome to the new series, Cocktails and Conversation with Cat and Nat.
And we've decided to bring you all of these conversations with people that we like to have where there's a little bit of wisdom, always hilarity and hilaria. Yes. Some famous, some just cool, some drink, some don't drink, but there's always a conversation.
Cheers, join us.
All right, guys, we started recording and we are so excited to have Eden here to do our podcast of Cocktails and Conversation without the cocktails. We need to rename that. Okay.
I have had enough that it's just gonna it's like I'm still drinking even though there's nothing in my hands.
Okay. So Eden, we know who you are and most of the world does, but if anyone who's listening is just being introduced, tell us who you are, what you do.
Oh, well, my name is Eden Grinshpan. I am a television host. I host Top Chef Canada, and I am a cookbook author of my first book that comes out September 1st called Eating Out Loud, which is very exciting. And I think I'm also kind of, I guess like funny mom on Instagram in a way. I had a couple pictures of myself go viral while I was pregnant, posting, putting food all over my pregnant body. And which keep getting regrammed to this day. My daughter's 3. So
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty wild and cool.
You think putting food over your naked body would still go over as well as when you were pregnant and maybe go viral again? Or
like your body now.
You know what? I took a picture once. My sister came over. She lives in Israel, and we put pizza all over our chests, which was actually disgusting because all the grease poured down our bodies trying to take this picture.
Did you burn yourself?
No, because we ordered it it was delivery. It wasn't
okay.
But we ended up getting covered in pizza grease. But yeah, I posted it. It did well, but not as well as I think posting yourself as pregnant as I was, being goofy and free and playful. I think a lot of people connected with that because
yes.
Can I tell you a fun fact?
So many questions for you.
I was once in Montreal and I turned the TV on and there was a full food porn going on where have you heard of this?
Were they having sex with food?
It was an orgy.
No.
And they were pouring milk naked down their bodies and dipping their balls in sprinkles.
No.
Were they attractive?
No.
Oh.
No.
Wait, the question is, did it do anything for you?
No.
Oh.
No.
Wait, I heard a little hesitation on the no. Did you
know
know that?
And I was I think I was 17 and I was like, what?
You're like, is this what happens when you become a grown up?
What the hell?
Isn't it so crazy the shit that we've all seen in our teens, I don't understand. I don't come across any of that now in my 30s, but in my teens, I saw the craziest stuff.
Yeah, it just fell upon my lap. I literally turned the TV on. I'm like, what the hell? And I watched it for a little bit because my friend and I were just like, what is mind blown that people would be turned on by, eggs and flour,
remember that Seinfeld? George Costanza would eat a sandwich in bed, he was sleeping with a girl and he kept eating the sandwich. Well,
that's when he became my favorite character on Seinfeld.
Do you eat in bed?
Yes, 100%. Edo hates it because it gets obviously crummy everywhere, but nothing is more relaxing than lying in bed for me. So to bring food into that just feels like I'm really being spoiled.
Have you ever eaten a taco and weirdest thing you've ever eaten in bed?
Oh, you know what? Edo and I, living in Brooklyn, we would just order when we would order food to the house, we would just eat it in bed. So just, I think anything, I mean, plus after I gave birth.
No,
you don't eat in bed.
No.
When I was pregnant, I once ate a taco in bed. That was weird.
You know what? After I gave birth and I basically lived in my bed with Ave on my tit, I ate everything there. You could not convince me to get up and do anything. I just was being fed.
it's a good point that it was weird for you because your bedroom was on the 3rd floor, so the taco had to come up to you. When she was living in Brooklyn, it was just like her bed was near the door. You know what I mean?
How do you know that?
Kind of.
I listen. I follow Eden closely. I have a crush on her husband. I know what their place looked like. I know what their place looked like when they went during COVID, and I know where they live now.
Eden, I have another question for you. You often do Insta stories in bed naked, and your husband's naked.
You guys sleep naked?
Like, so are you?
It's never a top.
You're always naked. So are we horny? Like, what's going on over there?
We sleep. Ido is totally like a nude sleeper. I don't know if this is TMI, but he loves it. So, and like he is. And it's amazing because he always like talks about his like hairy chest, which like I love. Like Harrison Ford was like my crush growing up.
Oh my God.
So Ido being like really burly and like kind of manly like that, like does it for me.
Yes.
You're like,
yeah, girl.
She loves him.
So he's always topless. He's either naked or in his boxers, and everyone calls him out on it. They're like, does Ido wear clothes? And I'm just like, no.
What about you? But now you are naked too.
Oh, let's talk about
I'm like an underwear to bed kind of a sleeper. I don't wear pajamas.
Top.
I wear Ido's boxers. We both I just wear his boxers to bed.
And then topless.
Yeah.
Okay. More questions. Well, speaking of nudity, because we might as well go there. Okay, first of all, actually, I'll just go right to that question. So if I don't ask it now, I'll forget. So you've been having some situation on Instagram recently, flashing people and showing your nipples.
Okay, leave it up to me. So I obviously Eating Out Loud comes out September 1st. My editor writes me. She's like, the boxes, like your early copies are coming. They're coming. Get ready. And they kind of suggested like, why don't you document this moment in your life? Obviously, I knew it was going to be emotional. I didn't really think anything of it. The books came. It's like I went blank. I was just like, Ido, get the camera. Ido. So he gets the camera, comes down. I'm not thinking about what I'm wearing. Like if you watch the video, the tag of my jumper is like out. I'm like disheveled. I'm already not really like, it wasn't a moment that I pre-planned.
Okay.
So anyways, Ido takes the camera. He's filming me. I'm unboxing. I start crying. It's really emotional. Like it really, I was so in the moment that I think everyone in that room didn't understand what was happening while it was happening. And basically I'm bending over and my tits are like, it's not a nipple. It wasn't a nipple. It was a full-on breast that every time I bent over would fall out. Like, because I wasn't wearing a bra. Clearly, I guess I'm not really a bra person. I'm wearing the jumper and I'm bending over to get the books. Every book I go to get, tit out. So I post this video. I'm like, because it was really emotional and like in the moment, I post it. I'm getting incredible feedback. A lot of people, most people didn't even say anything about the boob because they were in the moment with me, you know? And like 30 minutes goes by and I get an email from, someone at Clarkson who's publishing the book. And they're like, hi, Eden, I just want you to know that in the video you posted 30 minutes ago, you flashed the camera several times. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I've looked at this video over and over again. And I look back and it was bizarre how obvious it was and how I totally missed it. So
did you take the video down?
You know what? I'm so mad at myself because I panicked and took it down. And I think it wasn't for me. Like, I don't give a crap. I'm like free the nipple breastfeeding on Instagram. Like I'm 100% there and for it. And like, I'm not really connected to my boobs in that, I need to hide them.
Yeah.
So I'm really upset that I did because I really don't think it would have offended as many people as I thought it would. I think it was more for anyone that I partnered with or it was more for that. Like, I don't want to offend any of my my brand partnerships and all that stuff.
I guess so, right? I guess they don't have boobies and they've never seen them or play with them at night or ate off them. You know what I mean? I guess 50% of the population doesn't go to bed with them and see them, and probably more. I mean,
you know what? No one said a word to me. Like no one said a word to me. It was just me wanting make sure that I was very respectful, but like it was hilarious. Like just leave it up to me to have like my book unboxing and, you know, just flashing everyone within the same moment. It was wonderful.
Love that. You know, when I was watching your stories, like, I mean, we haven't known you forever.
Forever.
Well, we haven't known you forever. We're all from Toronto and like not too far from the same neighborhood originally, but hadn't known you forever. When I saw you unboxing your book and talking about it, I thought to myself, there's no way this is her first book. That's so nice how excited she is for her second book. And now I'm realizing it's your first. I even in my mind thought, I've read her cookbook. I have it on my shelf, but no, this is the first one.
I've read it. It's here. No, it's
not. I have your first book in my kitchen. You want to see it?
It's honestly, it's like a really like, this is, I've been dreaming of having a cookbook since like forever. I fell in love with Food Network in high school, and like being able to like host and be in, you know, like just the food space, the way that I've been able, like what I've been able to do up until now has been like incredibly like, you know, I still have like a million pinch me moments. So,
are you a chef?
Well,
I mean, like, do you have to? Listen, guys, hear me.
No, I know, because
I am not a chefer. I basically grew up and became a chef not because I wanted to or because I like dreamt of it. It's because I have 3 kids and it just came on me. And I had to do it.
And also sometimes it's hard to know, because these days, like, let's say you're not a travel agent, but you're a travel blogger, and now you're expert in the space.
Yeah.
You know? So we don't always know if we necessarily go to school for it, but I think you did.
I did.
Chef school.
Yeah.
So I went right after high school. I went to Le Cordon Bleu in London, England. So I like, instead of going to university, like, which I like, there's, you know,
Cordon Bleu.
Not my jam.
That chicken?
It's a school, but I think it's also a chicken.
It's a chicken, Cordon Bleu.
Yeah, Cordon Bleu is a chicken, but Le Cordon Bleu is a very famous culinary school. Actually, I think Julia Child went to Le Cordon Bleu in France.
How do you get in? Like, is it hard to get in?
Do you have to send some food?
You just have to send money. So that's a really you know,
got it.
Like instead of going to university, like my parents have been very supportive of me, and they said, you know, you clearly have like a passion for food. You love it. Why don't you go to culinary school? And I'm like, thank you for not forcing me to go to university or college. Like school was not my jam. I basically like feel like I schmoozed my way like to like graduating. You know what I'm saying?
Same.
Like,
yes, we hear you.
But then you go to this school, and I hear it's like really freaking intense.
It is. It's totally intense. And I studied pastry and cuisine, and I was 18 years old, and like I was in a new country for the first time by myself. Like I moved there with one of my best friends, but we lived there together in London. And I was working like part-time in different restaurants. It was like really, it was really cool. It was really interesting. It was definitely challenging. Like I think back to school, and it was hard. Like it was definitely really.
But did they speak French to you while you were cooking?
No. So I went to Le Cordon Bleu in London because I was
going to say, shouldn't that be in France?
She said that.
Yes. The Le Cordon Bleu is all over. There's like Le Cordon Bleu everywhere.
Oh.
So I went to the one that's closest to France because I'm like, I'm going to try to like get close to this, but I don't know French. So I'm going to just stay in London.
Right.
But all the teachers are French, but they would teach in English just with like super like thick French accents.
Can you make a croissant?
Yeah, I haven't made one in a really long time, but yes.
What's your favorite thing to make?
Well, you know, I kind of had this like, you know, I went to culinary school. I learned how to make classic French food, and then I backpacked a lot, and I kind of learned different cuisines and took different courses. And then I eventually moved to Israel. I'm half Israeli, and I started looking at the cuisine and the history of the food very differently from like, you know, the way I approached it before. I never really like asked all the questions. And so I started, you know, learning more about Middle Eastern cuisine. And that's when I like felt like there was like a really, really deep connection for me with the food and what I wanted to like serve my friends and my family. So definitely, obviously, like contemporary Middle Eastern food, very veg forward. You guys were at Des. You know,
I was
it's
just
very-
It was
so
so
Des
good.
was your restaurant in New York. We did an event there. We were so in love with the food, and I said we need this in Toronto. I am hoping because you have now moved here, we're gonna get one.
well, maybe one day.
So good.
I don't know if I would, you know, like open a Des. I
Yeah.
think that I would probably, like, you know, one day I think it would be so awesome to open up a restaurant in Toronto. Definitely Middle Eastern inspired, Middle Eastern Mediterranean, and it would probably like be either more of like a casual sit down or like maybe bakery meets like, you know, a cafe sit down, something like everyday food. Really accessible. You know, I don't like my food isn't fancy. It's very like
I disagree.
No, but I know what you
it's
mean.
not
Like,
fancy. It's
just
not.
like the way that you eat it is just like a casual way of like your restaurant was just like such a comfortable. You just felt like whoever you are, you can come in and you can grab it.
But
we could never make it. I mean, it's fancy
Yes, you
in the way
can.
she makes it.
Guys, when this is all over,
Yeah.
I will come to your house and we will cook together. And you are going to see.
Such a good chef.
Oh my gosh! Don't tell her that. That's so embarrassing for
No,
me.
That's
it's
not
true.
embarrassing. That's amazing.
And she like plates it, you know,
But
like
she's about to get a brand new kitchen that's going to be the best place to cook. So we'll go there.
We're all going to meet in this kitchen when it's done and we will cook together. It is, for me, it's not about like the most intense technique. It's just about like putting together really great flavors. And like, honestly, it's just kind of like small little things that when you learn, it will take your food from like being good to being great. Like really easy tip. Easy tip.
Okay, so so your cookbook, Eating Out Loud, tell us about it. I'm so excited. I can't believe, I can just imagine based on the hardcover that there's some great photography in there.
Well, yeah, I'm like the photographer that I'm working with. Sorry, what?
No, I really don't appreciate a cookbook without pictures.
I am the most visual person.
Mm-hmm.
The pictures were like, for me, the pictures are like as important as obviously the recipes being incredible.
Thank you.
But yeah, I'm really, really happy with the team that we were able to kind of put together for this book. Everyone is like so talented. Aubrey Pick is the photographer. She actually is from the West Coast, but you know, Eating Out Loud is basically the food that I cook for my friends and family, really accessible, really, you know, hopefully like this is food that I want people to be able to, you know, feel like they can achieve and they can do. It's accessible, relatable, very veg heavy. And it's just, you know, Middle Eastern, Mediterranean inspired food. Obviously, like I've lived in New York for like 11 years. So you'd see a little bit of that influence. The entire book was shot in my Brooklyn apartment and in my neighborhood. And also all the recipes were developed in that kitchen. You know,
oh my gosh.
Eden,
everything there. Yes.
I feel like, okay.
Hungry?
So,
Me too.
Yeah, starving. But so COVID, I mean, you were in New York when COVID hit, which was like one of the hardest places to be. You're a mom with a little kid. Did cooking, like, was that something that saved you, or did you get annoyed with it during COVID? Because
like most moms were like, I just told Kat, I don't want to cook until 2021.
Like, is it therapeutic, or did you ever get over it, or like?
Oh, first of all, it's both. Like, there are days where I look at my family and I'm like, this is not fucking happening today.
Yeah.
I look at Abe and I'm like, here's a bagel.
Okay, yeah, that's me all day, every day. Literally, that's me. There's your bagel for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But okay.
But like that, like I totally get it. Right now, like this is not, you know, it's been amazing because everyone's in the kitchen and I feel like everyone's been connecting over food and creating food. And it's been like a nice place for a lot of people to like, you know, express themselves creatively. And I think that that's been really nice. But it's incredibly challenging making 3 meals a day, every day. And trying to do something like, plus, oh, are you kidding me? My daughter doesn't even eat meals. She eats all day. All day. I don't understand how we're going to change that. It's really challenging. But yeah, no, I like, for me, so here's the deal. I have a 3-year-old daughter. We were like, New York was like really intense, especially at the beginning. We were fortunate enough to rent a home outside of the city, so we were there for a bit. But because we didn't have any childcare, we had no help. It was Ido and I really like trying to split our time between work, because obviously we both work, and watching Ave. Honestly, she was watching TV for a lot of that. Which, like, thank God, I'm like, thank God for TV. But when I'm not really an organized like person. I'm not the kind of mom that like sits down and makes a schedule for like myself, let alone my daughter.
By the way, we feel very connected to you in that way.
Yes.
That's why I think that we like following you, because you speak our language.
Yeah, no, I am not an organized person. So basically every day, instead of like following a schedule, which a lot of my friends had, and I think probably kept them a little bit more sane, but also made it harder in ways. The one consistent thing that I had was cooking. So I always brought Dave into the kitchen with me. And like, a lot of people were like, amazing, you have so much patience. And I'm like, I want to pull my hair out for a lot of this, because it does require a lot of patience, but she learned a lot in that time. And it also allowed me to, I recipe developed a lot during quarantine, and I was able to actually like push it on my social. And I felt like that was a really nice way to also introduce like, the book coming out. So yeah, it was a little bit of everything. Like,
and I feel like you inspired so many people, like, because you would repost stories of people making your recipes, like your cauliflower thing, and then other people were like, I have a bit of time on my hands, I'm gonna go and do what Eden did, and then tried something new, which was there was time for cooking during COVID.
I didn't find that time, but you know what? You all are inspiring me to eat your food. You make it, I eat it. You know what I mean?
Eden, what just like now that you're living in Toronto, first of all, that book is going to be such a memoir of your time in Brooklyn.
Wow.
All the pictures and recipes are just gonna that's gonna be there forever. How do you feel about living in Canada now?
Wow. Well, first of all, it's so nice to be home. Like I really felt like getting to, like Ido and I drove here from New York. So, cause we quarantined in my parents' basement, and we wanted to come straight from like our rental. So we drove to Toronto, and I'll never forget, like right when we crossed the border, I swear to God, like the road opened up. The sun was setting. I don't even remember what song was on, but it was like from a movie. I was like,
wow.
Oh, home. It really feels so nice to like be back. Obviously, actually haven't lived in Toronto since I was 18. So it's been 16 years.
Was this a COVID decision, or was this always a game plan?
So Ido and I have always talked about, coming to Toronto and living here like together. We just didn't know when that time was going to be. Like, if it were up to Ido, we would have moved here like the day we met. He loves Canada. He loves it so much. He's Israeli. So like he loves it so much, and he wants to like, he wanted to move here, and I just wasn't necessarily ready. I had like all these things that I wanted to do in New York. Plus, I love New York. But I definitely think COVID like sped things up for us. And we're also, like we want to expand on the family, and it's really nice.
That means lots of sex. That's juicy.
Why do you think he's always naked, guys? He's
okay. I know. I knew that. I was like, they are horny over there. They like to do it a lot.
Horny or trying,
horny or trying. I was like, geez. I'm like, COVID did not do the sex well over here. I was like, do not. So it's just bright. My eyes were hurting from the drinking, so I had to put on. No, I'm gonna get better.
Get it.
You like to do it a lot. You guys are funny, and
I love watching you guys, and I love that you share such a personal side of like your relationship. And what also is great, kind of relationship
he's
goals.
Funny. He's funny,
but you guys have fun together. Like you dance around with your daughter. You look like it's just a really positive vibe.
He's not that serious, eh?
Oh God, no!
Hold on, here she comes, and she's naked.
Oh, look, here comes the dog. Did she spell yet?
Hi, my! I feel like I know you. How are you?
Hello.
Hi.
What are you doing?
She's duck pond.
Duck.
Are you guys living at Grandma's house till your house? You get your house?
Oh, we're at Bobby and Zadie's. And
before.
you know what, though? She's starting school pretty soon. So like I'm really, school, daycare.
Okay.
I got her into a daycare. Hold on. Shh.
my toy ducky.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Toy
I
Ducky.
got her into
So
I
cute.
got her into a daycare close to my parents' place, which I'm really excited about. I can't wait for her to like play with other kids. I think it's been really like, I don't know about if people feel this way, but like for only single children, like only children,
Yeah.
like
It's hard.
oh my, like she's like, I have to be her mom and her friend and like all wearing, obviously every mom feels that way and is that, but with her, she's like, mommy, play with me. I'm like, okay. And she's like, dig this. And I'm like, okay. She won't help me. She like makes me do it. And I'm like,
Honestly,
I don't want to dig this. And she's like, dig it. And I'm like, I'll have to dig for you. Like, it's actually hilarious. She's very controlling.
our phone overheated. They're saying with her phone, it just is, it's shit. Anyways, what was I saying? Actually, so I was going to say, when you say it's been really hard for having one kid at home, I think there really is. I have a bunch of friends who only have one child, and there really is something harder about that. I mean, I've got 4 in there plus her 3, but they can play with each other. And my friends say they always want to play, and we're like, we're not kids, we want to play. So they say they just take a little gummy and it makes playing so much more fun. They can like focus on Barbies and Lego. I don't play on
Microdose? You don't microdose for the playtime?
No, I don't. I don't because I wouldn't know how. But they're like, honestly, all of a sudden you become interested in like puzzles and playing pretend and Lego. I'm like, hey, whatever works for you getting through this time. You know what I mean?
That's actually hilarious.
Yeah.
No, I for me, I just think Ido and I are just so grateful that we were able to drive to Toronto, and now we have my parents to help. And I actually just hired a nanny. So
Yay!
life is like already, and like it feels already like a lot easier, which is great. Like I always say, there's never enough hands. Like
I know. And you know what? This is like, it's like forced to take like like the next step in life, to like switch it up, shake it up and try something new. It was like us doing our drive-in show. Like we never would have ever thought of doing something like that. But it's really fun to break the ice and start something fresh.
I love it. Honestly, I think it's like a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Eden,
I can't
gotta lay off the tequila till next time. You know what I mean?
Wait, tequila. Like, what did you mix the tequila? Was there?
You know what?
I fed her a lot of things. Like on stage, we drink Prosecco, but backstage it was
vodka,
tequila. I gave her some
tequila.
Vodka.
It was too much.
You know what the
You
lightning
know what? I
striking?
think it's the Prosecco. Prosecco's very I think it's very sugary. The sugary things are what gives me headaches.
Yeah, if we're gonna do bubbles, I heard the cava has a lower sugar content. Whatever. Eden.
Yes.
Can't wait to be like new Toronto friends. Cannot wait to get your cookbook. I can't believe there was not one here for me. What the hell?
It's on its way. I think they're like they should be on their way very soon. The book comes out in like 2 weeks.
Can't wait. Oh, let's just talk about the fact that we share a stylist, and
it's okay, just keep going.
Yes, and you were being styled because you're gonna thinking about starting a new season
show.
of Top Chef. Let's discuss.
Yeah, so I am so fortunate and like excited that there's another season of Top Chef Canada, season 9, and we start filming. Yeah, I've been this is my 5th season hosting.
Who did you kick out?
Honestly, I don't know her name, which is really not great. I probably should know who it is.
Who cares? That was 5 years ago.
Yeah. But I think it took a break.
There's 9 seasons. She's been there for 5. So who did the first 4?
Oh,
she doesn't know.
One was Brad.
No, it was
No, he was the host of Chopped Canada.
Yes,
so it was a different lady.
Anyways, have you interviewed him?
What?
Have you interviewed Brad?
Oh yeah, he's been in my house a few times.
He is one of the funniest people. Ask him to do the Pinocchio.
Okay.
Oh, is that sexual?
Wow, sure. I mean,
is that like
I don't know where I'm going to end up after that, but I'll ask.
show us your dick.
You'll be pregnant. Just kidding. No, Pinocchio, he does this like really funny like puppet dance. He's like bizarrely good at it. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, we've definitely had dance parties in our living room with him. Love that guy. Such a nice guy.
So wait, what was the question you asked?
You're chopped. You're seasoned.
I'm just ordering onion rings. Just want to let you all know now.
I'm eating them today. We deserve it.
As we sit here and speak.
Yes, as you should. I'm surprised you haven't done it yet. It's already 11.
There's a good greasy spoon up in our neighborhood called Good Bite. It's been there for 1,000 years. Greek salad and onion rings.
Never been.
Well,
it is literally a hole in the wall, and I'm not even sure. So yeah, there we go.
And then
I like hole in the walls.
Okay,
you obviously United Bakery.
Well, I love it that you're like Eden's Jewish.
Yeah,
United.
We went there.
Have you been?
Oh my gosh, yes. We went there and it was full, and we saw multiple people that we knew, and they were like, "What are you two doing here? You're not Jewish."
It's actually, they have I don't know if it's good for anyone that's like didn't grow up with it, but their Greek salad is so yum.
I know. That's
the Greek
salad and
their vegetable soup. My dad loves their gefilte fish. You know how it is. United Baker.
Gefilte fish.
You guys had gefilte fish?
No.
Next time you go to United.
I don't think so.
You should.
I don't think if you didn't grow up on it, I don't think you're gonna like it.
I think you should buy some, and I think you should record yourself or video yourself eating gefilte fish.
I will potentially, but I would prefer to try it with you. Just so you can walk through it. I can see you be liking it, because if I give it to her and then she starts gagging and I'm supposed to, you don't like it.
No, I actually love gefilte fish.
So I need to watch
horseradish. They put horseradish with it and like sweet carrots. It's really yum.
Oh God, I'm gonna barf.
Oh my God.
Stop it.
Okay, so when do you start filming the news? I don't know what gefilte fish is, but it sounds like a ball of like a kind of a gray fish.
I'm gonna barf.
Wait, hold on. This is like the best conversation to have while you're hungover.
Salty fish in a ball.
Stop it.
I think we should have gefilte fish and then maybe some like tripe or something.
Yeah. Oh no! Oh God!
That's like, right now.
That's like how we were heading down to we were going to a Raptors game once, and my kid gets car sick, and we had a car take us down, and my son starts barfing, and her son starts looking at my kid barfing and starts gagging, and the guy in the car is like, "Get out of my car!"
No. No. Like I'm not good with puke, but like,
we're gonna make you puke. When do you start filming?
We start filming like mid-September.
Like you can be in studio filming back to real life?
Oh, well, like I'm actually really, really like interested to see how this whole thing goes down, because there's definitely a lot of like COVID protocols that like, it's going to be very strict on set.
Yes.
And I know that the chefs are going to be quarantined before they compete. Oh, gosh. And, like we're all going to be really spaced out, and everyone's going to be wearing not just the masks, but the shields and like.
Wow.
Anyways, give Ito a naked kiss for me.
Yep. No
I
problem.
will. Always. Always.
She loves to slow down. He's just, this hairy chest and his tattoos and his nose. Okay,
that's when you see him next, like when like everyone's like cool.
She's gonna die. She's gonna die.
You just hold him close. You tell him
my God!
You hold him close to you.
No, not in real life.
You will never be the same. You will never be the same again.
Oh my
God.
Wow.
Well, that wouldn't be good for anybody.
When he like radiates heat too. He's like one of those guys that's like warm, like his body's always warm. So like you hold him and he's like, ugh.
Oh wow. Oh, Jesus. Well, that's going to she's got a busy
nap time.
She's gonna go.
Ladies, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yes.
And I'm so excited that I'm close to you guys now. So
yeah, me too.
Like,
next time I won't be hungover, but we'll get hungover together.
We're gonna get hungover together. We will drink the tequila, we will dance, and we will cook. When
I can't wait for that.
When you posted that like video of yourself like cooking and drinking,
I know,
Why?
this is perfect. And I know you two are both lightweights. I remember you told us last time. So I'll do the heavy lifting on the drinking.
I'll do the lightweight lifting.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye, girl.